grateful that he's being honored here today. And it's my pleasure to introduce Frank Ansevin for induction into the Boardman High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Did anyone have any trouble picking out the gymnasts in this group? Believe it or not, I was not one of the offensive linemen on our football team. First, I want to congratulate my fellow Hall of Fame inductees. It's an honor to be inducted with such a great group of former student athletes. Looking back, I started gymnastics after the 1984 Summer Olympics. That year, the U.S. men's gymnastics team won the gold medal. My mom started me in gymnastics as a way to use up energy, and she thought it was a sport I could excel at. I'll be honest, I wasn't crazy about it at the time. I wanted to play other sports like football, baseball, and basketball. However, once I started, I immediately loved it. I loved practicing and eventually competing. As it turned out, I'm very thankful that my mom made me try gymnastics. After all, at my size, it became quite clear that a Division I basketball scholarship was not going to be in my future. Because of gymnastics, I've been introduced to not only so many incredible athletes, but so many amazing people, many of whom are still involved in my life to this day. First, I want to thank my parents for everything they did throughout my career. Gymnastics is an expensive, very time-consuming sport, and they made many sacrifices for me. Next, I want to thank my coaches, Brian Gallagher and Bob Knight. Each of them helped me develop not only as a gymnast, but as a person. And yes, my high school coach's name was Bob Knight, like the basketball coach. Bob never threw a chair at the judges at any of our meets, although I know he was close to throwing a chair a few times in practice, especially dealing with me. At Ohio State, I was able to be part of a strong program with a lot of tradition. I was fortunate to be part of some really good teams. I will always remember those championships, the rings, the medals, the trophies, and the work that went into achieving those things. But by far the best part about my career is the life lessons the sport taught me, as well as the relationships and friendships I made along the way. To go along with that, I've had so many great teammates over the years. Two of my teammates who were inspirational figures in my early developmental years in the sport were Matt White and Jim Knott. They were each a few years older than me and served as role models to me. So here's a little story that kind of goes along with the gymnastics mentality. When I met my wife, it was long after my gymnastics career was over. At our wedding, which was just a few years ago, a bunch of my gymnastics buddies were there. Let me tell you, you have a mixture of a dance floor, music, alcohol, and a bunch of former gymnasts in their late 30s and 40s. It can be a recipe for some pretty dangerous activities and questionable behavior. Guys were doing flips, handstands, and things they had no business doing anymore. And I confess, I may have participated a little bit. I remember my wife looking over the dance floor like, what is wrong with these people? Luckily, no one got hurt and I didn't break any bones. However, I was so sore I could hardly walk the first few days of our honeymoon. As I was hobbling around the beach, I remember my wife saying, Frank, you shouldn't be doing that crazy stuff anymore. You're not 18 years old, you're really gonna hurt yourself. So last night was our 25-year class reunion, and it never fails. People were trying to get me to do some gymnastics stuff even after all these years. I knew it was coming. They were saying, come on, Frankie, we know you still got it. Show us something. And I was thinking, I can't do anything stupid and show up at the banquet tonight on crutches. However, once the DJ started playing the old school 90s music and the entire reunion started chanting, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, I couldn't resist the temptation, so I did a quick flip to appease them, because I knew they wouldn't stop until they got what they wanted. My body is definitely paying for it today. Then I told them, don't think about asking me to do anything for the 30-year reunion because I'm officially retired. In closing, I want to thank Diana Albino for putting this wonderful weekend together. I also want to thank Diane Gorski for doing a little research, making a few calls, asking a few questions, and doing all the appropriate things that should be done in selecting for the Hall of Fame. Also, I want to thank my brothers, Dan and Brian, for nominating me. Finally, I want to thank all my friends and family for always supporting and believing in me. I would not have been the gymnast I was or the person I am today without all of you. Thank you.